This is the Etobicoke Lakeshore Podcast. My name is Mike, and right there, via Zoom, as we tolerate a little bit of late snow in the season, both in the area of Toronto where we are and across Ontario, and we are all kind of dealing still in pandemic mode. We are joined by Roger Tumanieri, the publisher of Etobicoke Lakeshore Press and a good buddy of mine. How are you, friend?
I'm doing very well, Mike. Thank you very much. How are you?
I am doing wonderfully, thank you. It is one of these things where I looked out this morning, and I think you probably did the same, saw the snow and thought to yourself, oh, of course. Why wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you shoveled your rooftop.
How weird is that?
That's a little weird.
Yeah, but it's where we hang. Our rooftop has a patio, and so you want to get as much use out of that as you can, even in the snow.
Well, yeah, I think they're interesting times, let's say the least. Hopefully the snow will clear and we'll be off to the races once again.
Yep, the weather's looking good in town here over the next couple as we record this, so we should be okay. A couple of things that I'll remind you about. Please subscribe to the podcast. Go right ahead and do that wherever you're listening. If you are a member of the community and there's anything that you need to find out about, Roger's a great resource, and so is the magazine. Where can people find that online?
Oh, they can check it out at etobicokelakeshorepress.com. And if you're so inclined, you can just give me a call at 416-788-0716.
You're the only guy in podcasting who hands out your telephone number.
We'll have to edit that part out then.
Oh, no, I'm going to put it in again at the end. And by the way, in case you missed Roger earlier in the show, he's handing out his number, folks, and that will receive texts as well. Listen, as you're making your way from the lake up the beeline, as we affectionately call it here in South Etobicoke, Brown's Line, there is a building on the east side that is notable. It is almost one of those things that you pass as you are making your way around town, doing whatever it is you do as a part of the neighborhood here. You look over and you see the sign for Moya Financial, and beautiful building. And these folks are not just a credit union in town; they're actually quintessential in town. They're real community players, and they have a really interesting and especially in an economy like this, highly applicable line of service for people right here in the community. And our guest is a pretty cool guy. Who's in today?
You're absolutely right, Mike. Today's guest is Tony Krosel. He's the CEO of Moya Financial. Tony, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Thanks, Tony. And as I mentioned, you do drive up the B line. You see Moya Financial on the right. It feels almost like the welcome gate to the community.
Yeah, well, people probably don't know we've been here for over 50 years on Brown's Line. So we finally got a nice sign up on the front of the building. So and it lights up at night with where finally after all this time we finally done that. So that's great.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah, and you guys are doing great things in the community. I love working with your marketing team in terms of the ads you run in the magazine and the editorial that we publish. And it's a really different experience working with other clients of mine, especially larger companies and especially financial institutions. I get the impression that Moya Financial is really geared towards the community in South Etobicoke, and you're doing a lot of great things. One of the things that we featured in the past were the beehive installations and how the bee and the notion of beehives in Slovenian culture, but also I think in any culture really, it's all about community. And so you guys have just done, in my opinion, a wonderful way of encapsulating what community means.
Oh, for sure. I mean, credit unions are really community by design are community focused, but the beehives are a really exciting new part of our environmental issues and the impact on the community. And it's Slovenians in general have a great history of beehives back in Europe, but it's quite amazing. It's great to help the community. It's great to help the environment. And we were able to harvest some honey for the last 2 years, put it in these tiny jars, and give it away to our members. And there's some other bee products as well: beeswax, candles,
Oh,
It's
that's
quite
awesome.
interesting once you get into it. It's amazing.
It's so funny. It is a fascination that many people have now to save the planet through bees. It's nice to see you guys taking the lead on that. Tell me something, Tony. What is the major difference between a credit union and where people normally bank?
Well, credit unions offer everything that banks offer, and the same with Moya Financial. But, banks are owned by shareholders who expect high returns, high dividends, maximize profits. This is what the banks are about.
Yeah.
And credit unions, on the other hand, are about the community and maximizing member experience. Most of our profits we put back in the community. We don't, we operate almost like a non-for-profit at times, right? We need to earn a profit, but it doesn't have to be maximized. And so generally we're going to offer, sometimes lower rates on loans or higher rates on deposits. A lot of times our services have lower fees, some have no fees at all, but it's really about the member experience. I would say that's the big difference here. You're not a number, we actually know you, and we get to help you with your financial needs. Credit unions are also, they act like a cooperative. So you have a membership share, you buy a share, that's your money, but essentially that gets you in, and then we can do business together for their on in.
What an interesting perspective that is on investing, saving, and watching your money, that you actually have a piece of the institution that is doing that. And I think that is kind of key, because even if it's just how you feel about your money being managed, that you have skin in the game, as it were, I think that's a huge difference between credit unions and the bank.
Yeah, no doubt. We can also be very, very specific to your needs. We can custom design products. We work together, and when you see us, back in the community, supporting the community, that's where it brings it all home, right? For people, they feel like they made an impact, right?
Well, let's talk about that, because your membership made an impact. Recently, I saw Moya Financial out there cheerleading in the community on the side of a truck, talking about getting back to business, protecting one another, supporting local. And that's just one example that I've seen in the community. Of course, the beehives are another experience. But what are some of the overall experiences you've provided and support you've provided in the community as Moya Financial?
Well, we started working with you guys a couple of years ago, and that was really the start. When credit unions started many years ago, you were basically looking at some kind of ethnic or association. But now that we're fully open, where we can essentially expand our products and services to the other communities, that's when we reached out and hooked up with you guys. And, we work with the small local businesses, V Schnitzel House, Family Meats, Il Paisano. We have the Clemencic lawyers up here. The truck was a great idea, right? It was in our parking lot, so people get to see that. And recently we made a significant financial contribution to the playground revitalization project at David Hornell Junior School. Oh, that school was without a playground for over a year back in 2019, and having trouble raising money. So we stepped in and helped with that. So,
that's wonderful.
Yeah. So we're looking at these initiatives, and we're looking to continue that. So it's what makes us different. I should also mention that, banks have, as you know, banks have deposit insurance for up to $100,000 on deposits. Credit unions are different though. Here in Ontario, we have $250,000 deposit insurance. And not only that, all registered products like your RRSP or TFSA is fully insured. So there's another great reason.
What does that mean, Tony? What does that mean to consumers?
Well, that means if something terrible were to happen to us, your money would be protected. You'd get it all back.
The banks just don't do that to that same degree.
Right. So we have higher deposit insurance, and that's another great great aspect of credit unions.
I wonder if people have been banking with their institution for so long, and Roger, maybe you've been in the same boat. I certainly, I still have the account that I opened with the institution I was as a little boy. And in fact, that seems to be the marketing buy-in on many fronts for the banks. What would you say to somebody who's had a lifelong account somewhere else to say to them, okay, look, this is the time to make the change to a credit union and specifically to Moya Financial?
Well, really, people have to look at how happy they've been with their service and are they shopping around for rates, certainly convenience. Most of our transactions are done online as well, just like with the banks. We have online banking, mobile banking. So really, it's around what is it that your needs are, and are they being fully met? And then give us a call, give us a try, right? We can and listen, people have multiple bank accounts as well, different institutions, right? Yep. And so something happens and they try something else, and next thing you know, they've got all these accounts. It's a good discipline to once in a while review what you've got, because if you got too many accounts, that's not good either. That's hard to manage, right?
Yeah.
But it's good to to reach out and to say, okay, I've got this situation, I got this much money. What we try to do is we try to have product promotions. We always have something going. We always have a decent rate promotion. Like right now, we're focusing on our 2-year term deposits. They're at 1.6%, which is probably the highest out there. Yeah. So there's a reason to try us out, and I think experience that the member service. I think that's that'll be a difference, I think, for sure.
It's interesting because I know people that are members of the credit union there, and they talk about how they walk in and they say this, they see the same staff every time. They know everybody by name. They feel comfortable that somebody's looking out for them as a person, not just an account number.
Yeah, that is a great feeling. It's a great feeling when you walk in and then say, hey, how's it going, Mike? How's it going, Roger? And what can we do for you today? And it's good.
Where can people find out more about Moya Financial? I mean, first of all, can they just walk in right now? What are the procedures and protocols for you guys with COVID-19?
Right. So we are operating by appointment. So essentially, we have one main branch, which is here on Browns Line. That's our main branch. And so if you give us a call or give us an email, so we're on Moya Financial .ca. It's we have an email there, and give us a call and we can make an appointment. And then no worries to come in, and we're obviously wearing masks and distancing, social distancing, and all that stuff. And we believe we have a very safe environment. So yeah, and we believe to help you, whatever regular hours during the day, and give us a call, right?
It's kind of a big deal, Roger, for me to be speaking to Tony at Moya, because it is one of those places I pass on a daily basis. Yes, I go to Farm Boy. I forget things often when I'm grocery shopping. So I pass you often. Maybe what I should do is get in there and get an account open and get myself embedded a little more in the community, because, Roger, this is what I'm hearing. Yeah, you can bank everywhere, but these guys are doing stuff in the community with cash, with effort, with genuine, with a genuine mission in their heart to make the community better. I can't say that any of the banking institutions I'm associated with, well, I mean, on the surface, they might say they care, but they're really not embedded like Moya Financial.
No. And I think they're just too big to give back at the community level. Whereas Moya Financial is centered there on Browns Line. That's the main branch. And, like Tony said, they're so engaged in the community. They've done a lot of work with the Etobicoke Lakeshore Press, for which I'm extremely grateful. But then giving back to school playgrounds, I think, is a wonderful idea. And I'm sure you've got other plans to continue to give back and say thank you to the community. But my big takeaway here is that it feels like that old school vibe when you walk into a financial institution and everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
You guys are like the Cheers of financial institutions.
That's the way to have it if you can. Now,
Yeah, really have a draft tab open as well, right? That'd be great.
actually, and then I just hear somebody in the corner. Actually, Naomi, you know, a credit union does more for the community. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That was a bad Cliff Clavin. But I will say this: maybe Tony, we could get you back as the economy is going to struggle a little bit to come back as things open up, and our hearts are open to be doing business and getting our finances focused on. It would be great to have you back to talk about how that is happening for people. Some of the options and opportunities as people get back to work, or they're trying to sort of revamp what they're doing financially in their life. And I bet a lot of that will occur in the coming months and year as we all get back to life. It would be amazing to get you back on to have a perspective on that.
Oh, for sure. I welcome the opportunity. You know, it's been really a tough year for everybody, and the last thing you want is to worry about how your finances are and, you know, what your money's, how it's working. And, you know, and again, we can help, we can help. You know, and the stats, prove us out. You know, Ipsos gives a lot of market research, and they give credit unions high marks all across the board. And credit unions are generally more innovative. I don't know if you knew this, but, credit unions were the first to offer full service ATMs and debit cards and online banking and mobile check deposit. Like, you say, who invents this stuff? Well, credit unions have done a lot of that. So,
okay, I did not know that.
Yeah. So, we're always trying to be innovative and, and help everybody out.
Have you looked into jetpacks at all? I thought we'd all have jetpacks by this point. We're counting on the credit unions to make sure that happens. Good point. I did not know. That is all fascinating stuff, that the birth of the technology that we use every day to bank with came right from credit unions. Well, this is cool. Guys, go in and check things out and visit moyafinancial.ca. You're in the community. Tony's a great guy. Go on in and have a chat. Find out what can be done and who's in your community making honey.
There you go.
Thanks so much for joining us, Tony. It was great to have you on.
Hey, I really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. And we'll talk soon, guys. Thanks.
Great.
Well, there is a good taste of community leadership right there, Roger. You can just tell that Moya is in it for more than the banking itself. They're entrenched in the community, trying to help out, make things better. And, we chatted about this a little bit off the air, but this is a burgeoning community in Toronto that is sort of the next revitalized area. Moya is going to become a major player in that happening.
I agree. There's still a lot of people moving into South Etobicoke. There are new developments taking place, and what better place to park your money and watch it grow than with an institution who values member experience,
and they're part of your community.
Maximizing that over maximizing profits.
Yeah, so that is in itself one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard in banking. Once again, that's because they're not a bank. They're a credit union. Moya Financial, moyafinancial.ca to get in touch with Tony directly. He's a great guy, and I think that you'll find that somebody's watching over your money who cares. So, okay, now look, go and listen to previous episodes. You'll meet more people in the community. I call it the L-Pod. It is the Etobicoke Lakeshore podcast. Share it with a friend. Subscribe to it wherever you're listening. And for the love of Pete, pardon my French, pick up the magazine. It probably will arrive if you are in the neighborhood. In your post box at some point, but if you want it online, you can go online
to etobicokelakeshorepress.com, and don't forget to check out our sponsor, apparelco.ca. They're the makers of the Etobicoke apparel designs. They designed a great tribute to the Humber Bay Bridge, so it's available for sale at Espresso Bar Namaste. Also on Browns Line, actually across the road from Moya Financial there.
An amazing espresso as well. I mean,
espressos and hoodies and credit unions. There's Browns. That's Alderwood right there.
And by the way, what you can do is you can go to Moya Financial, arrange a loan, head over to Namaste, and while you're there, you can have a visit with Marta and talk about real estate. Enjoy your espresso. Your whole day is complete, and you've moved your life ahead. You're welcome.
And you buy a hoodie.
Oh, yeah, I meant to say, and you buy a hoodie. Hold on, this was a commercial for hoodies. The hoodies are available at Namaste. I have mine on right now. They are warm and beautiful. I notice a lot of people in the community. They've become a little bit of a buzz item, I've noticed, in the community. If you're wearing one, you're on the inside, as it were.
That's right. You're part of the cool crowd now.
Okay, so go and get your Etobicoke apparel at Namaste, and where can they get that online as well?
Apparelco.ca is the website, and part of the intent there is to drive traffic to local businesses. So the hoodies are available at Espresso Bar Namaste, as are the I Love Etobicoke Lakeshore t-shirts and masks. You can pick those up at Ed's Real Scoop in Mimico. And if you're interested in just the masks, our friend Jonathan Nan at Shoppers Drug Mart in Long Branch sells them too.
All right, there you go. Support the community, show your love, and we will catch you next time right here on the Etobicoke Lakeshore Podcast. Thanks, Roger.
Thank you, Mike.